Karma. Karma is very real, you guys. I've been aware of karma pretty much my whole life, and some people have. But some people do not believe in karma. They don't believe what you put out is what you get back. They think it's complete and utter BS. And I'm not really sure why. I have talked to people who have said that they feel like they're not that powerful. Like they don't have the ability. Well, you don't. You're not dishing out karma. The universe dishes out the karma. You just live your life, do your thing, learn your lessons, function as a normal human being. But whatever you do in that life is going to produce karma, both good and bad. So it's kind of like the universe, the divine, God is your parent. And when you put good out and you help people and you make people feel good and you make them laugh, and that's why a lot of actors and people like that, I mean, we can get into the whole other side thing, but basically the gist is you want to live your life trying to make as many people happy or do things for people. I saw a thing the other day. A woman who, she was depressed. She was ready to end her life. And I think this is on YouTube too, just in case. She was ready to end her life, and she had a baby, and she probably postpartum depression. I don't know. But she had this idea about nappies, and she started making these nappies, and they went viral. And today she runs a very successful business, and she has pretty much anything and everything that she could possibly want, and people find a lot of value in her and her nappies. And the reason that happened is because she filled a need for people. People were frustrated just like she was about these nappies. So she made them. She made something that she really liked. And then she didn't do it thinking that she would have a multi-million-dollar business. She was actually trying to solve her own problem. And the next thing you know, she was solving her own problem and all of her friends' problems. And the next thing you know, she's solving everybody in the world's problems. And today, she runs a very successful company. And she feels like a valued member of society, and she is very happy. And it is a family business. It's a family legacy business. That is a lot of good karma. A lot of good karma. And she may have struggled her whole and entire life. And she may have gotten to a point where she was ready to give up because she didn't ever see any positive coming from the things that she kept putting out. I can totally relate to this woman. And I bet many, many of you can too. I bet a whole lot of you can. I bet a whole lot of you are thinking that you don't believe in karma because you keep putting it out and putting it out and putting it out and putting it out. You keep putting it out to exhausting levels, only to have everybody just ignore you. My advice is do not stop putting it out. Do not stop. You just keep putting it out. Because by the time it comes around and all of that good starts pouring into you, it's going to be huge good. There are delays. I have seen delays. I have witnessed, I mean, I can remember being in my maybe early 20s, and I would see a situation happen, and I would know that there was karma that was going to come from this, right? And I would think, I can't wait to see the karma come out of this. And I would wait. I would wait. And I would wait. And I would wait like for years. And I never saw the karma. But I still knew karma existed. I still knew that eventually the karma would get them. Not that I was, praying for karma to get them. Not that I was wishing anything bad on them. But I knew they had some karma and it was going to come. But seriously, I have no idea how long it takes for karma to come. But I have noticed that it has sped up quite a bit. So when I was like in my teens and my 20s, it seemed like, it lasted a little while. Sometimes it never came about. Sometimes I never saw it, or sometimes I never saw it, but then I would hear about it like later on and find out that, yes, karma, karma got him. But then I started noticing, and I'll tell you, when I was, in my 40s, I guess, I was I was working at this place, and these people that I was working with were very bad. They were really pushing the karma wagon up the hill. I mean, and when it came down, it was going to crash right into them. And I thought, karma's going to play out on this one. And it did. But it only took about 6 months to a year for that karma to come back around. And I'm not so sure that it was really karma, because they kind of got some karma, but one of them actually seemed to take the karma and then bounce back pretty easily and actually end up in a better situation. But I think that was just a delayed reaction. I don't think that she actually did end up in a different situation. I think her karma played out a little bit differently. And I think it's probably still playing out today. But karma happens. Karma absolutely, positively happens. And it is the law of, what is it? The law of what you put out is what you get back, I think it is. So if you are putting out a lot of bad, if you're putting out a lot of negativity, if you're putting out a lot of meanness, if you're very critical of people, if you are kicking the dog every time you go down the stairs, something like that. Oh, here's a story of karma for you. This was a very bad story. And I'm not going to use any names because it actually did happen. So this old man, he had a garden, and he would go out and he would water his garden every day. And next door were 2 Rottweilers. And those 2 Rottweilers would bark every time he went out to water his yard. And he got so frustrated and so annoyed by the fact that these dogs were always barking at him, and he couldn't have any peace and quiet while he was watering his garden. He would squirt the dogs with the hose. And he did that every day for months. And unfortunately, one day the dogs got out. It wasn't pretty. That would be a really blatant form of karma. Unfortunately, a lot of people will argue and say that wasn't karma, that was animal instinct, which I would kind of agree with you on that as well. But that is kind of how it comes. That's how it comes out. If you are not able to water your garden peacefully, regardless of whether those dogs are barking, and just water your garden without causing any distress to those creatures, then you're going to get some kind of karma. Karma is going to come back to you. If your karma, if you can stand there and water your garden, or maybe pick another time of day to do it when they're not out, or just ignore them. Just ignore it. You know, sometimes we get so focused on the bad rather than focused on the good that we our emotions take over and we can't control how we feel. Obviously, that's how this man felt. This man was annoyed by the fact that he could not go out and water his garden without these dogs barking. And he allowed his emotions to get out of control. And those dogs paid him back. They paid him back, and they paid him back harshly. Harshly. Unfortunately, they lost their lives at the same time, but the point is, all of that could have been avoided if the man had just been able to focus on watering his garden and not worried about the dogs barking. So that is kind of what it comes down to. You know, can you water your garden? Can you go about your day doing what you do and enjoying what you do? Or do you have to get annoyed? Do you have to get mad because the baby's crying, or because the neighbors are loud, or because you don't like the music in the street, or because of this, or because of that? Those things, if you can't control that emotional response that you're having to it, karma will get you. It will come back to you. And if you go through your life and you can't see that that is going to happen, then I'm sorry for you, because it will happen. And here is the biggest key about karma. Karma does not always come from the same source. And I think that is a major key to the dishing out of karma. So you're in a situation for many years, and you're basically an ass or a jerk. And you're just not very nice, or you're just downright mean. And then all of a sudden that situation ends. And you think, we got away with that one, or, you know, whatever happens. But then the next situation that comes in to your life that's very similar to it, you get your due. That person or that situation that comes into your life, maybe it's a job. Maybe it's a job, you're on a job, you hate the job, you can't stand to go to the job, you're grumpy, you treat everybody like crap, you know, you just can't stand to deal with yourself, you can't stand to deal with your life, whatever. And then the job ends for whatever reason. Maybe you get fired, maybe you quit. Doesn't really matter. What matters is how you treated everybody while you were on the job. So then you go to a new job and you find out that this new job is not like your old job. It's worse. It's 10 times worse than the job that you left before. And another place where we see this playing out a lot, believe it or not, is in public office. You know, you'll get like people in public office and they seem so horrible. They make terrible decisions. They don't seem to support the people. They do all these like crazy things. And it appears like, they're just really bad. And then we vote them out and somebody else comes in and they're 10 times worse than the person beforehand. That's because it's karma. We've never learned the lesson. There is a lesson there, and the universe is trying to get everybody to learn the lesson. And we're refusing. We're refusing to see it. Karma plays out every single day of your life. Every day. On some level, karma is playing out. So if you get up and you think your day is absolutely crap and you can't deal with anything or anyone, that's because you're probably paying for the karma that you put out days before. Change your attitude and your karma will change. Change the way you treat people and your karma will change. Change your outlook on life to a more positive outlook and your karma will change. And honestly, it is within our control to do that in our own lives right now, today. If we start looking at our life in a certain way and we start acting a certain way, whatever way that is that we want to drag more in, we will actually turn it around and we will create that magnetism, that positivity, that magical life. Magical life. But if we stay stuck in this negative, mean, vicious, attacking cycle, that's what we're going to get back. We're going to get back a whole bunch of negative, attacking, vicious cycle. You can't go out into the world or get on video or talk on a podcast and talk about all of the bad and expect the bad not to come and find you. You have to be willing to shut off all the bad and only listen to the good. Only talk about the good. Only do the good. That's why they call them do-gooders. Because some people just are. I would be one of them. I am a do-gooder. That's because I don't like karma. I don't like bad karma. I like good karma. And I work for them. So I'm a do-gooder. Blessings, and I hope you have a fabulous day.